All right, welcome people as you're coming in. Get seated, get ready. We're going to get started here really quickly. Got a lot of information to go through today. So if you'll notice in the chat box, you can communicate with us. We're absolutely open to answering questions as you go. I have my fellow coach on here too, Chris Linzel. Say hi, Chris.
Hey everybody, good to see everyone. Glad you're here.
That's right. So we're gonna go through this presentation today and provide a lot of value for you. So get a pen, get a paper. You're gonna need it, I promise. You're gonna need it. And I am trying to find my chat box. Oh, there it is. And if you could, if you're interested in finding the chat box and getting started, why don't you type into the chat box, what city are you from? Maybe country. I know on one of these coaching calls we did, Chris, we had somebody from South Africa, didn't we?
Yeah, I've seen folks from South Africa, from Brazil, a lot of folks from Mexico, from Canada, from all over the place. So glad to have you guys here. Right. There's Canada.
The coach is worldwide.
That's
right.
The
clothes is worldwide.
That's right.
That's right. Worldwide.
I see a lot of Texas in there. Good to have you guys from Texas. Welcome. New Jersey and Pennsylvania. Good to see you.
I love it. It's Canada Day. Oh, didn't know that. Congratulations. Happy Canada Day. Awesome. Carmel, Indiana. My daughter just moved to Carmel, Indiana. So welcome, Kurt. All right. We're just going to give it about 60 more seconds, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. And just want to make sure we get everybody in the room. Looks like we got about a third of the people that registered have logged in. And, so those people that are new to technology, let's just give them a moment. Ooh, look at this. Mumbai.
Welcome.
That's awesome.
When I was a kid, my dad, who was a social studies teacher, took us to, the whole family went to Canada on a summer vacation, and he gave us a 2-hour lecture on the origins of Canada Day. So if anybody wants to learn more about it, I've definitely got some facts.
Yeah. What do you know about Mumbai?
I know it's a city in India. I think that's the colonial name, Mumbai. I'm trying to remember the original name off the top of my head, but looks like a cool spot to go.
Yeah, awesome. Got San Diego on board. Love San Diego. That's that place where we all say we're going to live someday. Kansas, Florida. A couple more from Florida. Oh, there you go. Original name was Bombay.
Perfect. See, I knew it.
Awesome. Well, let's go ahead and get started. And so excited to be here today and to bring you this presentation. This presentation is one that I put together actually a few years ago when we started to see listing inventory start to decline. And I thought that this presentation was important then. And today, I think it's more important than ever. So let me share with you really quick. My name's Sean Moudry. I'm a coach, author, and speaker. I contribute with The Close and with Chris Linzel. I'm a co-coach with Chris, and Chris is a staff writer and a real estate agent. You want to introduce yourself, Chris?
Yeah, thank you, Sean. Yep, I am a staff writer for The Close, also a real estate coach and a licensed realtor in the state of Michigan. So I am got a lot of experience with real estate from all over the place, and super excited to be able to continue to share through coaching and through content ways that agents can level up their business.
Sorry, awesome. We also have Miranda and Hannah helping us manage the back end of things. So they could probably wave to you, but I think they're muted right now. So give them thanks for props for helping put this together, organizing everything, getting the emails out, getting the webinar set up, and all that stuff. So again, my name's Sean Moudry. 26 years in real estate will be this year. for me. And I gotta say, like, in my experience over the 26 years, I've never seen inventory this low. And that's why we thought that this course, this class, this presentation would be very impactful for what we're seeing right now. And let us know in the chat, are you guys seeing the lowest inventory you've ever seen in your markets, or are you starting to see inventory rise? I'm right outside of Denver, Colorado. I'm kind of halfway between Boulder, Colorado and Denver, Colorado. And I know that our inventory here is the lowest we've ever seen. So got some people saying that it's highs. Some people say it's very low. Yeah. So my history, again, I got licensed back in 1994. I sold 72 homes my first year when I got in real estate. And there's lots of factors that played into that. But what I want you to understand about me is I'm a person that loves process and systems. I'm a person that loves to find opportunities, niche markets, and place myself in the place of those niche markets to be able to drive more business to myself. So that's kind of the secret to my success. I was in the Hall of Fame at RE/MAX in 1999. That was at the age of 24 years old, or about 24, 25. And I was featured in 30 Under 30 in Realtor magazine. I've been a national trainer, speaker, and a coach for MAPS Coaching, Bold. If you guys are with Keller Williams, you're probably very familiar with that. I've also authored a book on real estate investing, a book based on lead generation strategies on the Myers-Briggs called 16strategies.com. And I'm a nationally recognized coach. So that's kind of my background. So I have a lot of experience. And what's important, I think, about why I bring this up is the techniques I'm going to walk you through today. Most of these techniques I have personally done myself. I've either done them myself, I've coached somebody through the process, or I've observed the process. And so I think that's a really important thing about the perspective I come at through things is I am a student of the business. I don't feel like I know everything. I don't feel like I've learned it all. I'm learning and growing every single day. And this is my way of sharing that understanding, that knowledge to you. And so I'm going to share with you guys some stories throughout this presentation to kind of communicate with you guys a little bit more of how these experiences have unfolded in order to kind of empower you to see that you can do this too. Okay, there's nothing in here that requires any kind of education, higher level education. There's nothing in here that's going to require some unique talent or some unique ability that you're going to have to develop over time. It is going to take effort. It is going to take discipline. It is going to take follow through. But these things are available to all of us. To give you an example, I graduated high school with a 1.78 GPA. I am not a genius, okay? I am relentless and determined, and I do face failure probably better than most, and failure has led to the successes I've had. And so through this, we're gonna talk about successful ways to develop some of these strategies for you and your business. Now, again, I ask you to take a lot of notes. I have no expectation of you to actually do all of these strategies. In fact, I don't think it would be possible for a real estate agent to achieve 11 different strategies in their business. Hey, Chris, what do you think like a good number of strategies for an agent is for lead generation?
I like to have when my business is really kicking, and when I'm working with agents who are firing on all cylinders, they tend to have, I would say, anywhere between 2 and 4 lead generation strategies that all work together, and they cover different bases. You got paid lead generation, you've got referral generation, you've got just kind of cold outreach to your sphere, that sort of thing. Everyone's going to find something, a combination that works together with them. But more than 3 or even 4 strategies, you get to the point where you're doing kind of a C- job on all of them. So I like to pick those 3 or 4 and really focus in on them.
I completely agree. I think like when I talk to top producers, coaching top producers and those kind of things, they have one strategy that they are outstanding at. Like they outperform most people, or it's so niche that most people can't get into it, right? They've found a niche that they've wedged themselves into, and most people can't get in. And then they have 2, maybe 3 other strategies that kind of supplement it. I always think about it like a table, right? Like a table doesn't stand on 1 leg, it would fall over. 2 legs, it would tip over. 3 legs, yeah, that'll hold it up. 4 legs is very stable, right? And so you want to have one strategy that's really strong. One question that people asked is this going to be recorded? It is being recorded, and it will be sent out later to the email list. So if you're a subscriber at the close, so if you're not a subscriber, subscribe now. So you can go to theclose.com and you can subscribe to the newsletter, and there will be an email following up with this presentation with the recording of the link in it. If you're not a subscriber, you won't get the link, okay? So we're not going to send it out to this presentation. It's going to go out to the subscribers in the close. So a little hint for you to go ahead and join and receive the amazing content that the close and the staff puts together each day. So more competition than ever is the biggest challenge right now, in the sense of listing inventory has gone down. We've seen new competitors enter the market. We've seen Open Door is now buying again. And, Zillow is actually going back to doing some buying again at certain markets. It's a heavily investment competitive market where real estate investors are buying up opportunities, some of them that are off the market that would have been your listings, guys. These would have been listings that would have went into your pocket, but these investors who are very savvy and they're using technology today to get ahead of the market are getting in there, and they're buying the inventory before these people are even calling real estate agents, okay? So I'm going to share with you some of those techniques that these investors are using that you can use as a real estate agent that I've used in the past to generate listing leads literally out of the blue. I actually call it the lazy way to do real estate, because it truly is that easy. Now, the other thing is that there's certain real estate agents that have an unfair proportion of market share right now. And what I mean by that is they've developed systems and things to be able to generate a larger proportion of the market share than would typically be average, okay? So that is either due to some systems or some marketing. Maybe they're spending a lot of money on Facebook ads, or they're spending they're literally buying out Zillow markets. Chris and I were talking about this one time, is that we know of agents that are buying out Zillow zip codes, and they're not even following up with the leads. They buy the zip code just to keep you out of the zip code. Okay? So that is a strategy that top producers are using in order to maintain an unfair proportion of market share. Now, here's what I have to tell you. In transitioning markets, okay, going from a seller's market to a balanced market to a buyer's market, going from a buyer's market to a balanced market to a seller's market, the power shifts, okay? The power shifts. So you have an opportunity right now to take advantage of the shifting market. Now, I'm not here to say that there's a recession coming, right? We've talked a lot about recessions and those kind of things. There's a lot of signs that there's a potential recession coming, but not to say that there is one. But this is going to give you an opportunity to position yourself ahead of the market that shifts. Let me give you an example. In 2007, I was one of the top producing agents in the entire United States. Okay, I was ranked on the top 100 list for the top producing agents in the United States. By 2011, okay, literally just 3.5 years later, I kid you not, the #1 agent in the entire United States, out of all agents in the United States, had only been licensed for 2.5 years, okay? That's because the shift created an opportunity that he saw and he took an advantage of, okay? And we're going to talk about that strategy today. Now, how do I know this? He is one of my best friends, okay? And so that's how I know. I met him when he was 26 years old, and he closed 475 transactions in 2010. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. And in 2011, he was the #1 agent in the United States. So there's a shift that's going to give you an opportunity to position yourself ahead of the market. Now, the other thing is there's a statistic out there right now that says that the millennials, right, being such a large percentage of the market that's buying right now, you know, people that are in that early 30 age group, right? Their expenses are low and their jobs are paying well. They are moving into the home buying market. Now, the stat that I heard is that they would rather work with somebody that's influential on social media than somebody who's an expert. Now, why is this a challenge? Well, for somebody like me who's been in real estate for 26 years, I'm 46 years old, I'm not a social media influencer, especially when it comes to buyers and sellers in the market. I don't spend a lot of time on Instagram. I don't post a lot on Facebook. I'm definitely not an influencer category, but I still want to be competitive in the market. If you're somebody that falls into that category, these strategies are going to resonate with you because these strategies don't require you to become an influencer. They don't require you to do 60 posts a day and to film yourself doing Snapchat or TikTok dances, okay? Not to say that that's bad. It's fine. These strategies are more traditional strategies. Some you've heard of, some I promise you haven't, that are going to help you position yourself in the market against influencers, marketers being people that are great at building their business through advertising, Zillow, Google ads, those kind of things, okay? So that's who this course is for, okay? We already talked about the new competitors reaching the market. So what is your solutions? What solutions do you need to do to be successful in the market moving forward? Number one, you have to develop new skills, okay? You have to develop new skills. If your listing inventory is dried up, or you have buyers that are looking for homes that cannot find homes, you can't blame the market, okay? You can. It's not going to change your situation, though. You have to focus on developing new skills, okay, to get yourself into the market. You might have to develop the use of new technology. You might need to dust off some old technologies, right? Some old things that we used to do or we used to learn a lot about that we stopped doing because, let's be honest, it got easy, right? If you've been selling real estate for the past 5 years, it's been easy, guys. You put a sign in the yard, you get offers, it goes under contract, and it closes. You don't have to negotiate hard on inspections as a listing agent because you have a backup offer. You don't have to worry about it not closing on time because you have multiple offers. When you shift into more of a balanced market or a buyer's market, the old technologies and the old techniques are what actually supports your business, okay? And the last solution is you've got to be proactive and find the hidden inventory. You have to go out and dig deeper. You have to dust off some techniques and go out and just do it and dig it out. Pull up your bootstraps and get back to work like we used to do. And I'm not saying you guys weren't working. As a whole, as a real estate industry, we're all working hard, but we're not working in the sense of working on developing leads as much as we were working on managing leads, okay? So now we have to go develop leads to manage leads, okay? So let's get into it. Let's get into the 11 sources of hidden listing opportunity, and hang with me till the end, because at the end, we have a special offer for you guys at the end. And this isn't a sales pitch. My goal today is to give you guys a lot of information, a lot of different techniques, a lot of different ideas to help you build your business. But with everything, there is greater opportunity for those people who want to take it to the next level, okay? We at the close, we have a private Facebook group. You can sign up if you go to Facebook. We'll have Hannah put the Facebook group into the chat box that you can sign up on, and you'll get kind of some information ahead of everybody else. And we also have the Close Pro membership group where Chris and I get on a coaching call every single Monday, and we talk about lead generation strategies and techniques and challenges that agents are facing to help them overcome what's going on in current time, real time, okay? Did I cover all that, Chris? Did I miss anything?
No, I think you got it just about right. The only thing I would add is with the Close Pro, not only do you get access to these weekly coaching calls, which we have started to call kick off and kick ass, to put it bluntly. Every Monday we get on there, we kick off the week, and we set you up with some strategies to be successful that week. But not only do you get that, but you also get access to some courses that the Close offers, both a course written by Sean, a course written by myself, as well as our big resource library. We have a ton of stuff in our resource library, including templates and of all sorts, whether they're business plan templates or marketing plan templates or templates for emails or scripts for texts or phone calls, listing presentations. I mean, the list just goes on and on. So as a Close Pro member, you get access to all of that stuff every single month, just as a part of being on the inner circle there.
Yeah, not to mention, we always are adding new downloads.
Oh, yeah.
Literally multiple times a week. From, like you said, from scripts to budgets to spreadsheets and those kind of things. Before I move to the next slide, Noreen has a question. She says, is this for agents that want to do Facebook ads? In fact, Facebook ads is not one of the strategies, guys. It's not one of the strategies, because I think there's a lot of sources for doing Facebook ads to listing presentations, okay? I've done them. I've spent tens of thousands. I think in 1 year, I spent $48,000 on internet advertising, and I got some results. I think some people are uniquely skilled at that. It's not me. I am not great at managing the internet lead follow-up system. I wish I was better at it, but the reality is, that's not me. So the strategies we're going through today are all true strategies that I've either done or I've either coached people to do to achieve success in real estate, okay? So these are all lead generation listing strategies for you to be able to go either find listings that are off market for your buyers or find listings for you to have the opportunity to list, okay? And what I'll call the lazy real estate way, right? Which is the way you can generate real estate commissions the lazy way. And we'll get deeper into that for those of you that are like, I want to know about that. Okay. So number one is we're going to talk about a scenario where you have a client, okay? You have a client who's a buyer, and your buyer is trying to get into a subdivision, a neighborhood, a condo complex, an apartment complex, and literally there's no inventory in there, okay? Now, I've bought multiple properties this way, okay? I bought multiple properties this way, and it's a simple solution. Some of you are going to say, this is what this program is about, but if I don't address it, people are going to say, this is a missed opportunity, so I'm going to address it anyways. So the top producing agents, one of the best techniques to find inventory that's not on the market currently is to do a search in your MLS, a geographic search. Sort that search. Once you download the information, I download it into a CSV file. I click on the listing agent name, the column, and I'll sort it by listing agent. And that'll give me top down the agents. It'll congest all the agents together that have had multiple sales in a neighborhood, okay? Now, if you work in the same neighborhood over and over again, you probably already know who the top producing agent is, okay? But if you don't, you might not know that this agent sold 5 homes last year in this neighborhood. And that's an opportunity for you to contact that agent and say, hey, do you have any properties that are coming on the market in the near future? Do you know of any sellers that might be interested in selling their home that don't have their house on the market yet? Okay. For instance, I work with some probate clients. So probate is when somebody has passed away and the property is going through a legal process to determine who is the actual owner of the property before the property comes back on the market. If somebody was to call me and say, Sean, I see that you've sold 5 homes in that neighborhood in the past 5 years. Do you know of somebody, or do you know of a property that's coming on the market? There might be a chance that I have a probate property that is in probate. It's going through the process of probate that is going to be coming on the market. Okay. So top producing agents is an excellent way. The other thing that's a secret about top producing agents and buying properties like that is you can pay under market for them. Literally the house, my personal house was listed with another agent and the listing had expired. Instead of calling the listing directly, I called the agent that had it listed and I asked him some questions about why did it expire? What happened? He told me what was going on with the seller's situation and that the seller was dead set on selling the house as is with a set moving date. I said, great, I'll accept the house in as is condition. I'll accept their moving date. They wanted to have some extra time to move because they had some family issues going on, but I'm only going to pay this much. I picked up the property about $45,000, about 10%, because it was a $425,000 house at the time, about 10% under market than had I been competing on the market, okay, for that same property. So it's a great opportunity to find houses under market, under value, not having to compete with multiple offers, and find hidden inventory from top producing agents that are selling. Again, top producing agents always, I promise you, always have inventory that's coming on the market. It's either getting ready, getting prepared, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so that's strategy number 1. Strategy number 2, as we've heard about a lot, is for sale by owners. Now, why, Sean? Why talk for sale by owners? Because it's a great opportunity that many, many people overlook. And here's the 2 reasons why. Number 1, we know for sale by owners want to move, okay? We know that they want to move. We already know what they believe their house is worth because they have their price listed. Now, what we don't know is why they aren't listing with a real estate agent. Real estate agents love to assume that for sale by owners are for sale by owners because number 1, they either don't like real estate agents, or number 2, they don't want to pay a commission. That might be true for some, but let me tell you about a third category. The third for sale by owner is the one who has never listed and sold a home before, and they just thought that this was an option for them to do it. Now, some for sale by owners are very successful at getting their home listed and sold, and some are less successful at getting their home listed and sold. So I'm going to empower you for sale by owners and developing techniques with for sale by owners to be able to, and we'll talk further about this as we go. I want to make sure I get through all 11, but working with techniques with for sale by owners is a great option for generating business. So I just did a quick search in my local Craigslist, okay? So I did Denver, Colorado Craigslist, and you see right here under Craigslist, it says that there's 1,362 for sale by owners currently listed in the Denver market. Now, sure, some of that is properties that are outside of Denver. Some of those are properties that are listed by agents and put in the wrong category, whatever. But there's plenty of opportunities there. Even if it was 2 in every 100 are people who might consider listing with an agent, that's still opportunities that are missed. Also, you can do a quick search on Zillow and you can pull up potential listings and you can pull up for sale by owner. And if your area still supports this, they actually pulled this category out of Denver Zillow, is the Make Me Move category. But when I did this search, we have 91 homes here in the Boulder market, and down here So we have 91 in Boulder, and down here for sale by owner is 196 and 230 make me move listings. So if you feel like your inventory is low and you're looking for listing opportunities, for sale by owners are a great opportunity, okay? And we'll share later about the techniques to get into for sale by owners and working with for sale by owners. Next is rentals, rental properties. Real estate agents overlook rental properties all the time. So rental properties are two things, right? They're properties that we see for rent, okay? They can be, some of them are accidental landlords. So they're people that they wanted to sell their home, but when they had their house on the market, it didn't sell right away, right? So they ended up putting a tenant in there. So they don't really want to be a landlord. So one of my closest friends, he's a lieutenant sheriff, right? And during the recession, his house, he decided to rent it because it really wasn't worth him selling the house and getting the equity out. Now his tenant has been there 3, 4, 5 years now, and he hates being a landlord. He hates every minute of it, okay? So if he has his house up for rent and he's trying to determine, should I rent my house or should I sell my house? He has a choice he has to make right there. Well, the problem is for a landlord is the cost to prepare a house for sale, updating the carpet and the paint and all those things to test the market costs more than just simply cleaning the carpet, touching up the paint, and putting it back up for rent, okay? So a lot of landlords don't want to take the risk. Yet, if you have buyers that are ready, willing, and able to buy a house right now, you might find that house under market, non-competing, if you look for rentals. So again, I did a quick search. Here's what I've got here inside Denver, 526 current rentals, and this is off of rentals.com. And then one of the other most overlooked opportunities is what I call multiple property owners. And these are people that are investors like myself, okay? So at one given time, at one zip code, just one zip code, I own 26 houses in one zip code at one point. So if somebody simply had done a property search of owner search, and you can do this through your title company, or there's software systems that can do this for you. You can do a search inside of a zip code. You can sort it by the owner's address, that search by the owner address, and look for non-owner occupied properties. So again, title companies can do this, and there is software that is available that can do this that I'll share with you later. All of a sudden, you can pull up the people that own the same properties. Now, the reason we search by the owner's address is because, like me, I hold my properties in LLCs. But all of the LLCs share the same mailing address. So if you search by the owner's mailing address and not by the owner name, you'll actually find people that own multiple properties. Simply calling those people and saying, hey, I see that you own 8 properties in this area. Would you consider selling one? I have a motivated buyer that's looking to buy in the area, okay? Or my listing inventory is very low. Right now is an outstanding time to list. Have you considered selling? Now, here's the cool thing about multiple property owners. If they're not selling, guess what they might be doing? That's right. They might be buying. They might be your buyer. So if they say, no, I'm not interested in selling, then you just flip it around and say, do you have an appetite to buy? If I come across an undervalued listing, as I'm going to share with you how to find, if I come across an undervalued listing, would you be interested in buying a property from me? So you can turn these multiple property owner investors into clients of your own, okay? And one of the things that I think every real estate agent needs to have is an investor in their pocket that is always hungry to buy. Because when you have that and you come across great opportunities, like I came across a property in the mountains one time, the guy was 7 days from foreclosure, 7 days out before the property was going to foreclose. And the only way to solve it, there was no way for him to correct his foreclosure or cure his foreclosure. The only way to solve it was to sell it directly to an investor right away. And because I worked with investors that are multiple property owners, and how do you find them? I just showed you exactly how to find them. Because I work with multiple property investors, I was able to sell that property, earn a commission for my services, and solve their problem, okay? So Next is vacant and abandoned properties. This is massively overlooked in our industry, right? I tell the story of there was a vacant property that I had literally driven by for about 2.5 years. And I remember I even had a client say, what do you know about the property on the corner? It's just sitting there. And being kind of a newer real estate agent, I didn't really like get the signal that this is something I should research and look into. Well, about 2.5 years later, from the time I first saw the first property, there's a gentleman out front working on the house. So I pull up and I said, hey, are you the new owner? He goes, yeah. I said, oh, wow, congratulations. I said, how did you buy the property? I didn't see it go for sale. And he says, well, I noticed it was sitting here vacant about a week ago, is what he says. And he says, I tracked down the owner, and it was a bank that foreclosed on it and didn't realize that they owned it. So the bank foreclosed on the property. The bank thought that HUD, the Division of Housing and Urban Development, took over the property, but the HUD didn't. It was still their asset. And he said, so I contacted them and said, I would like to buy it. And he bought it significantly undervalued, repurposed the property, basically reconditioned it and flipped it, is basically what he did. But here's a property for 2.5 years I drove by that with literally simply going down to the county, pulling up county records, I would have easily been able to source that information myself. So vacant and abandoned properties. Now, one of the things I'm going to share is there's software that can also help you find vacant and abandoned properties. Number 5 is expired listings. Expired listings are properties that were on the market that didn't sell for some reason and did not come back on the market. Okay, there's software systems. You know, one of the sponsors at the close is RedX, right? So RedX is one of our sponsors, and we're proud to have them as a sponsor. Can source that information for you and send you information of expired data. But one of the more important techniques is getting aged expireds. These are expireds that are from a year ago, and there's additional techniques on how to find aged expired listings. Because if you do expired listings right now, after just going through a quarantine and a pandemic, there's a lot of listings that got pulled out and expired. But if you pull expireds from 2019, you might have an opportunity there to find properties that were motivated to sell a year ago, didn't sell, and came back on the market, okay? Or are ready to come back on the market this year, and they're waiting for the pandemic to pass. So there's some additional opportunities and some techniques to find those. Number 6 is new construction and development. This could be small builders or large builders, right? So small builders can't afford, Jody, I'd love to go back to that script, and I'm going to share with you later. Jody asked, can I go back to the script on page 5? I'll share with you later how you can get that script. I'm running out of time, so I want to make sure I get through all 11, but all of this is going to be available to you, so not to worry. Okay, so small builders are builders that can't afford a full-time on-site sales staff, okay? So they typically are looking for real estate agents to list and market the property. One of the things people forget is your listing agreement is only tied to the current listing. It doesn't have anything to do with the next listings that are coming. So most builders are not building one home at a time. They're building 2 or 3 or 4. So if you see that there's a home for sale and you have an opportunity to meet the builder, then talk to them about listing and managing their future projects, right? Or not managing their future projects, but being their listing agent on their future projects. Now, large home builders have inventory homes, they have model homes, they have pending contracts that they need help with because there might be contingencies, and they have future developments. So working with large home builders is a great opportunity to get listings. I'll tell you a little secret. So at one time in Denver, Colorado, inventory was super low. This was in the 90s. You know, we were having the dot-com boom here, and things were taking off and humming and drumming. And there was a development that was closing out. And the on-site salesperson told me about her next development that was opening up. And I got permission to start pre-selling the next development before the builder even started marketing it, okay? So I actually ended up selling in 1 year, 18 homes in that one subdivision. And the reason I was able to is because I was able to market the properties before everybody else got to market those properties. Even I was marketing them even before the onsite was able to market them. So number 7 is foreclosures. Okay, foreclosures are a great opportunity that people overlook. And what I'm talking about foreclosure, I'm talking about prior to the sale date. Now, different states have different rules. Colorado we're a trustee state. Some are a judicial state where the foreclosure goes through a judicial foreclosure. We go through a trustee sale process. And what does that mean is we're talking about foreclosures, pre-foreclosures. Before the property was foreclosed upon, we have an opportunity to sell the property. So all states follow a very similar method. The payments are missed. They file, in Colorado, they file what's called a notice of election of demand, an NED. Every state has some type of public notice to let everybody know that the property is going into foreclosure. Once this notice is put out there, that's your opportunity to meet the homeowner and talk to them about their options in foreclosure. Now, I don't know if you guys are doing the math right now, but there's 4.2 million people that are not paying their mortgage currently. About 50% of those are in an agreed forbearance situation with their bank. The other 50% are just people that are behind on their mortgage, okay? So we are likely going to see a spike in foreclosures, if not for a short period of time. If anything, it might just be a short period of time. It might be a long period of time. Foreclosures are an amazing opportunity to generate business, guys. It's a great opportunity. In 2011 and 2012, my team and I, working at our brokerage together, we closed 175 units through managing people through the foreclosure process, okay? So what we were doing is we were helping them negotiate the short sales and helping them get the home sold before it foreclosed. And if you don't think that there's foreclosures right now, go to your county website and look. Go to your county website, because I know in our county right now, in the county that I'm in, there's about 400 active foreclosures going on right now, just in our county right now, okay? So there's opportunity there. Now, the next 3 kind of fall in line with each other. So I'm just gonna kind of cover each of these together. So probate sales. So probate is somebody passed away, maybe they had a will that's contested, maybe they didn't have a will, and the process has to go through probate to determine who is the correct owner of the property. Through probate sales, you can source probate lists, you can buy probate lists, and you can contact them, or you can get in relationships with probate and estate attorneys, which is the way I work, is I get referred through probate and estate attorneys, as well as divorce attorneys. Just last year alone, there was 162,000 foreclosures in my state. 162,000 foreclosures. Colorado is about 5 million in population. 162,000 is a lot of real estate transactions. Now, the cool thing about a divorce, if you manage a divorce transaction well, you can turn one sale into 3 transactions, because you'll sell the one and they buy 2 more. So working with divorce attorneys is the key there. And then number 10 is working with bankruptcy attorneys. I have to update this slide. In 2016, we had 12,500 bankruptcies in Colorado. Now, again, I work with attorneys that refer me business. And I was just talking to my friend who's an attorney here that refers me. And he said, entering the Corona situation, he has seen the highest spike in bankruptcy filings than in the past 10 years. Okay, so he's seeing the highest spike in bankruptcy filings that he's seen in the past 10 years. So here's the thing. Some states have the way for the homeowner to retain the home. Colorado has a homestead exemption of about $150,000. But above that, the trustee attorney forces the sale. And these are opportunities to work with people who are in distressed situations and provide a great service by working through the attorneys, okay? So when it comes to probate, divorce, and bankruptcy attorneys, you have to develop systems to get into relationships with the attorneys, okay? That's the trick here, is not the trick, but that's the technique, is not chasing people who are in bankruptcy around or chasing people who are in who divorce. You develop a relationship with the attorneys, and the attorneys refer you. They trust the attorney trusts you, they refer you. It's a great relationship. And the best part is you're not paying a referral fee. I don't pay my attorneys a referral fee to refer me. In fact, I don't even know if they legally can accept one. So that's an outstanding technique that, again, we're going to share with you an opportunity to learn this technique here in a minute. And then the number 11 is working with banks and credit unions. Okay, so we talked about foreclosures previously. Now let's talk about bank-owned properties. Bank-owned is a property that has been foreclosed upon, and the bank now has the asset. Now, sometimes the banks foreclose. Sometimes they do what's called a deed in lieu of foreclosure, okay? And that means that the person just gave the property back because they don't want to contest a foreclosure. Developing the relationship with the banks, the asset managers, I saw somebody in there posted the asset manager is who you talk to on the property. It depends on what phase the property's in, but talking to banks and credit unions, at credit unions, the asset manager is the vice president or the president of the company, right? They're small. The credit unions are pretty small, so there's not a loss mitigation department. There's not an asset manager in those. There's the vice president, right? And so you can develop relationships with banks and credit unions to become their agent. Now, from 2003 to 2000, I think it was about 2008, I was the agent in Colorado that managed all the sales for the Veterans Administration. So to give you an idea, I was closing about 170, 180 transactions a year just for Ocwen Servicing, who managed the VA account. So, and literally, I got that account through a series of phone calls, okay? And I mailed coffee mugs with candy. Okay, that was my secret weapon, was coffee mugs. So all of these things are achievable, and I want to share with you how you have the opportunity to learn all these skills, because I can't cover all of this. We can't cover all this on this class, okay? But here's the challenge. The market is possibly slowing, okay? Possibly, I'm not saying it's happening. There's plenty of signals out there that over the next 12 months, 24 months, we're going to see a slowing in the housing market, especially with the resurgence of COVID that's going on. I think I was excited, as all you guys were, that the market, that real estate was recovering this summer and our inventory is low and everything's great. But if we see another phase of shutdowns, government shutdowns, business shutdowns, school shutdowns, us getting quarantined again, there's really no way to prevent a situation where some people aren't going to recover, okay? So, and that's gonna put pressure on the market. I wanna be clear, Chris and I are not proponents of a recession. Right, Chris?
Definitely not.
Yeah. We've been accused of that before. You guys are proponents of the recession. We're like, we're realists. So I wanna ask you, if you're somebody that implements, okay? If you're somebody who is learning for the sake of implementation, okay? If you're somebody that is seeking accountability, right? If you're somebody who wants to generate the results, right? You want to get results. You want to increase your listing inventory. You want to have more tools in your tool belt to generate more business, then we're suggesting to joining the Close Pro, okay? And the Close Pro, you basically get 4 things, right? Number 1, you get access to Chris's course, which is 6 simple systems to transform your real estate business. Do you want to share about your course, Chris?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a course that we put together really with the goal of taking your real estate business to the next level, whatever that next level may be. This course is really designed to find the spots in your business where you have an opportunity to increase your efficiency and your production. It really follows the entire customer journey from your referrals to listing presentations, marketing, negotiation, and then soliciting better reviews afterwards. And we've even got our bonus system in here. The sixth system is really focused on agent performance, and that's maximizing your business with better, smarter tax strategies. So you're not paying more to Uncle Sam than you need to. So there's a lot in there. There's over 90 minutes of professional video, over 200 pages of ebooks, tons of templates and stuff. It really is a ton of information, and we're super excited to continue to get to share it with people.
And in the past, you sold that course for $99, and you've sold hundreds, if not 1,000 of those courses at $99. The current price for that course is $49 because you were running a special.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So that's the current value. But wait, there's more. Got to say that, right? That's a requirement. Because you will also receive the course Survive and Thrive in a Shifting Real Estate Market, where we go through each of those techniques we just talked about, guys. Every one of those techniques that we just talked about. Getting into relationships with home builders, getting into relationships with attorneys, how to develop relationships with banks and credit unions. And again, these are all things that I have actually done or I've coached people to do. These are real strategies to help you develop the systems in order to generate these leads. The systems, as far as how do you get systems that will generate leads like the non-owner occupied, those kind of things. Access to those systems is inside. It's not included with the program, but how those systems are found and the cost of those systems, which are not expensive, guys. They're not too expensive, but they are systems that you can't, it's not like a system that you can share with 100 people, okay? You're not gonna go into your real estate office and say, hey guys, I have this system that you all should have, because everything works until everybody does it. Now, I know that on this webinar right now, there's almost 200 people, and there's going to be a handful of you that are going to follow through with these things, okay? There's going to be a handful of you that follow through with these things. And so I'm confident that sharing these systems on here, that the ones that really want it are the ones that are going to follow through and get it. So the course is currently online for $199. You can purchase the course for $199, or you can also join us for our virtual coaching calls that we hold every Monday. We talk about current topics, actionable items. Every week, we give you a tip or a strategy that takes you about 5 minutes to help you move your business forward. Literally something that you can do while you're on the webinar. While you're sitting there watching our coaching call and interacting with us, we'll give you an actual thing that you can do literally while you're there that's going to help you move your business forward. We value that at $149 a month. And the real estate resource library for access to all the things, the templates, the guides, the checklists, all those things that we're adding to every single month, month over month. And what we're proposing for you today is, instead of paying $496 or more for those systems that you would pay for if you were to buy those each individually, that you join us in the Close Pro membership for just $35 a month, and you get access to all of this that we just shared with you for $35 a month. And Hannah, can you put the code in the link in the chat so they can just click it instead of trying to write that long link down? And Chris, do you want to add anything?
Sean, yeah, I just wanted to jump in and say, we had a really good question in the chat just a second ago, which was, shouldn't a good brokerage help you with these things? And I just want to respond to that, because the short answer to that is yes. And the long answer to that is, well, it's complicated. And the reason it's complicated is, I don't know about you guys, but I am... I've been, like Sean, I've been in the real estate business for a long time. And just in the last 10 years, I have watched the way that brokerage model support has changed significantly, even in the major players in the industry. I remember very clearly 10 or so years ago, the level of support, tools, resources available at my Coldwell Banker brokerage, that changed very, very quickly. Now we have brokerages in the industry like EXP or other completely virtual brokerages without any kind of hands-on face-to-face interaction, where you are paying extraordinarily low fees, which is great. It's always great to be able to have price options there, but the trade-off on those low fees is that you aren't provided with the sorts of tools and resources that you would be otherwise. So in a perfect world, yeah, maybe a great brokerage would provide you with all these tools, but we know that there are brokerages of all shapes and sizes and with all stripes as far as the level of opportunity that they offer, and we are really here to make sure that all agents who want to have access to these sorts of strategies and tools can get it.
That's right. And I will argue the point that a brokerage shouldn't, because here's why. If everybody's doing it, it doesn't work. Okay. So if I'm in a brokerage of 100 agents, right? And 100 agents are using all the exact same techniques, guess what? My technique doesn't work anymore. I want you to think about your business as a way for you to niche in, get super niche, and to take advantage of opportunities that other people are ignoring. And that's where success lies. So also, for those of you that are still skeptical, because we're excited about the Close Pro. The Close Pro launched, about 4 weeks ago, right, Chris? About 4 weeks ago?
Yep.
And we're excited about it. We're passionate about it. We love sharing and coaching and teaching people. And we're just looking to grow. We're just looking to grow membership, and with collaborative people that want to participate, that want accountability, that want to follow through, that want to get results. That's what we want. So we're going to give you the option to try it free for 2 weeks. It costs you nothing. No credit card. You don't even have to put in a credit card, guys. You just go in, you put in your information, and you're signed up. At the end of the 2 weeks, it's going to ask you to sign up for your $35 month membership. And yes, Ellen, it's month to month. So your commitment's $35. So if you're really good, you could get in there, watch all of Chris's 6 simple systems, watch all of Survive and Thrive in a Shifting Real Estate Market, go into the resource library, download everything you can, and get out in 30 days. If you're really good, right, Chris?
You totally could do that. And you know what? If you are an agent who wants to take that approach, I'm not going to stop you. Sean's not going to stop you. We would encourage you to hang around, but if that's who you are, you got to do what's best for your business. But the reason why I'm not so worried about that is that one of the things that the Close Pro really provides is this opportunity for continued growth, for continued accountability, for continued motivation and inspiration. And so, we don't want to be a quick hit, flash in the pan sort of resource for you. We want to be a site that you visit just by default every morning, because we've got good stuff to share with you. And we do that really well on theclose.com, and the Close Pro is going to take that to the next level.
Awesome. And I see Bill signed up. Welcome, Bill. We look forward to seeing you. So our next call is on Monday, our next coaching call with the Close Pro members. And we're going to be talking specifically about lead generation strategies and how it relates to your personality profile. So,
oh, baby.
And one more question. We've got a question. Will the link be valid? Great point. This offer, specifically the 2-week trial period, will expire. I think we said by midnight tomorrow night, I think is when we talked about it expiring. Is that right, Hannah? Midnight tomorrow?
Yep. Looks like that's right.
Yeah. Okay. And there will be an email that'll go out if you need to follow up with the link later. Larry says, as a virtual assistant, how can I use this service? I'll tell you what, here's at Compass. Okay, this guy's got 11 agents at Compass. He's a team, and he says, I don't have time to watch all your systems. And I said,
Uh-oh, did we? Can you guys hear Sean? Okay. Lost Sean here for just a second. Can I, if you can hear me, go ahead and give me a heads up in the chat. Looks like we're getting close to the end here. Great. Um, awesome. So I will follow up on what Sean was saying here. You know, it's really hard to get through all of the data and all of the information that you need to be successful, especially all the stuff that the Close and the Close Pro is offering. And so one of the reasons why being a Close Pro member makes a lot of sense is that you can have access to this information whenever you want on the go. All of our video content is a really great consumable on your phone if you want to listen to it, you know, while you are on your commute. So there's lots of opportunities for you to be able to consume this content when it matters most to you. But what is even more important, I think, to the Close Pro here is that we want to be a resource that you can come back to on a regular basis, um, so that when there are new challenges in your business, we can jump in and help you with those. And we can do that directly using small group coaching stuff, as well as um, being able to answer questions via email or be able to follow up directly. We really care about our Close Pro members, care about anyone who's consuming content, because we want to make your real estate business better. And you have an opportunity, especially early on, to have that personalized attention using the Close Pro. Okay, guys, we are getting close to the end here. In fact, wow, it is after 2 o'clock. I can't believe that zipped right by. I want to thank everybody. You know what? Actually, I'm sorry. I just want to make sure we get one. I'm looking at the chat here just for a second. One more question before I subscribe. In India, we don't have websites like Zillow, Craigslist, etc., which would help shortlist listings and find them. Can we do that without those websites too? Yeah. So that is definitely, that's a great question. The strategies that Sean brought up here are ones that you can use relatively universally. The session, or excuse me, the places like Zillow or Craigslist are places that you can find these individual tools or find these individual kind of collections here, but there is definitely still ways to get to that information in other places. Now, I can't speak directly to what systems are set up in India. And so if there are other sites there that are going to work specifically by providing that information, that's great. But you know, these are strategies that are not necessarily site specific. You don't have to have those places. These are just ways that we're kind of putting together that information that make it accessible. So if there is a Zillow or a Craigslist equivalent, that is definitely a good place to check out. So guys, that's going to be it for our for the webinar here. It looks like I'm seeing a lot of conversation in the chat around sign up options. I'm going to just go ahead, guys. We're going to go ahead and call the webinar right now. We are going to, this is recorded. We are going to send this out to folks. But if you have questions specifically about signing up for the Close Pro, that if you're having any kind of problem or you have some specific questions, Hannah and Miranda are here to help work through some of those questions. You can send those messages to the chat here, and we will do our best to work through them. And of course, we are always happy to follow up via email and make sure everybody's got what they needed. So thanks again, guys, for everything. Please don't forget, we've got the Close's private Facebook group, the Close Real Estate Agents Mastermind group. You can join that. Please visit us on the Close, www.theclose.com, for all sorts of great real estate content from myself, from Sean, from our other real estate writer, Emil. and we are so excited to have you guys as Close Pro members. So please come on. We'd love to take a look. We'd love to keep talking. We'd love to be a part of improving your real estate business. Thanks for being here, guys. Pro in the chat here, and have a fantastic rest of the day.